let's have a quick look of what eXo is, why we have built this product, and how the cloud is impacting us, and what we are doing to help developers and users to work on a daily basis using the cloud. So quick introduction has been done. So our focus was really to help people build intranet, extranet based on Java. So with very classic features like you need to be able to integrate applications inside your portal, you need to have document management, so be able to store and share your document with people, build your website internally or externally, and having some basic applications of email, calendars, management of your contacts, your discussion forums, and so on. So initially, from 2003 to 2009, it's what we have been focused on. Based on the revival of the portal inside the enterprise, and also of the common usage of the Web 2.0 by many users, many new requirements has been showing up, and we had to implement social features, focus on more power to the user, so user-oriented give the power to the user to create his own community, to be able to share information with the user by himself, and find people by, for example, a basic feature will be, I want to update my profile, who I am inside my intranet. In many enterprises, the profile you have has been built by human resources, has been managed by human resources or IT, where you cannot even update it. So it's one example of the focus we have been, the stuff we have been developing. So collaboration and sharings using mashups, and this is where the cloud is coming in the picture, and all this inside the enterprise. Be able to move what you have been using in terms of tool and user experience on the internet using Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on, inside the enterprise, in terms of user experience, not necessarily in terms of features. And one of the key points also here is to be able to extend it, be able to use many things coming from the internet, be able to deploy on the cloud your application, be able to use REST and XML APIs that you build or you make available, you have already available on site on the internet. Use standard HTML, CSS, JavaScript to build your own component and integrate that inside your portal. Could be eXo, but inside other applications also if you want. So for this, every time when we can, we leverage an existing standard. So when we build our social network, we have used OpenSocial. OpenSocial has been an API that had been pushed initially by Google, but it's now a public API managed by OpenSocial Foundation. Give you access to user profile, activity streams, so the news that you attach to what you are doing, connecting the people together, but also giving the view of your applications using OpenSocial gadgets. So as we are a Java-based solutions, obviously Java EE on the Java platform is quite important for us. So all the related standards are important in terms of development and integrations, web services, XML, HTML5, and all this kind of stuff. So HTML, I will say, CSS, JavaScript, and so on, is quite important when you talk about integration. Finally, when we talk about the content, WebDAV, CMIS, so Content Management Interoperability Service, are some examples of standards related to the document. So we have implemented these standards. They are available inside the JBoss and OW2con. And also about security integration with OAuth or OpenID are some of the areas you need to be able to provide solutions if you want to integrate your application with the rest of the world, with the other API. And it's also important to mention that we are an open source project. That means you can participate as a community, but you can also look at what we are doing to take inspiration or extend it if you want in the context of your project. So eXo, when you execute it, looks like your home page with, in the middle, an activity stream of what is happening in my community. Your community is your direct contact inside the enterprise, but also all the communities you are part of. So when an application, could be your application, it could be the eXo application by default, the document management system, our wiki, for example, can publish information in the activity stream. So one example of integration, it's you probably use Salesforce on Chatter, or you'll probably have seen that Chatter is aggregating many data coming from your application. You can easily integrate that and push some information coming from this system to your intranet or extranet using OpenSocial API, for example. Manage content on document. So you can store, view, share your document inside the platform. And it's where we use the Java Content Repository API to help you to build your own applications, to extend your old application, and also accessing using WebDAV on CMIS if you want to integrate with third-party tools, especially OpenOffice or Microsoft Office. Giving calendar, wiki access directly inside the platform. And how do you extend that? And this is where we have been focusing lately about improving the developer experience inside the platform, but also on the cloud. So as you can see, we are inside the browser. I am in a Chrome screenshot here, where I have an online IDE. And the way we have been working, it's not only we have embedded that inside our platform, but we also provide it online today on the cloud, on Cloud IDE.com. And the goal of that is to provide you an online tool to develop and deploy applications. So our cloud server that is currently deployed on Amazon EC2 is using our content repository to store a part of your sources. And you can edit your code, modify your applications, build your code. And what's happened is when you want to deploy it, like more and more paths, what they are using to deploy, it's Git. You just can do a Git commit, Git push, and it will deploy your applications in different paths. So we have integration with Cloud Foundry, CloudBees, Heroku, and OpenShift. Obviously, we can do more depending on the API, depending on the different services that are available. And for each, for example, on OpenShift, you can build Java EE application. In this case, we use CloudBees to deploy the application, to package and deploy the applications. You can build Ruby on Rails and PHP application from the IDE and push that on the cloud on Heroku, for example, or Cloud Foundries as another example. So some of the features we have been focusing on helping the people to create your mashups directly online in addition to the Java EE application. It's not here to replace your your desktop development tools that you use, Eclipse, NetBeans, or any other tool, but it's here as an additional tool that you can use to develop new kind of applications, especially open social gadgets. So you can create new REST services online, and what we have done instead of using simply Java, you can do it using Groovy, so a scripting language at the top of the JVM, very close in terms of syntax to what Java is. We have chosen Groovy not only for performance reasons on compilations, but also because it makes the migration very easy for a Java developer to start to use shortcuts in a scripting language. So inside the persistence, you can use the Java EE, so JDBC, JPA API, but also we have implemented at the top of the Java Content Repository API, so the standard API to manage content in Java. We have implemented Chromatic, that is the equivalent of what JPA or Hibernate annotations are to the relational database mapping. In the UI, you will be able to build open social gadgets or NetVibes universal widget API. So indeed, NetVibes product, enterprise version of the product that you can install in your own network, comes with a studio, a development studio that is our IDE. So when you are done with your application, as I said, you can deploy it inside OpenSocial container, but also in some paths, Heroku, OpenShift, Cloud Foundries, and Cloud Bees, and also inside eXo. So let's dive a little inside a small demonstration of our Cloud IDE on our product.